Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes, and I'd love to welcome here Marcus Nand, an excellent guitar player who just did a remake of Blue Image's Ride, Captain Ride with Joe Lynn Turner. I mean, a legendary voice. We're going to get to know Marcus today. So, Marcus, tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, hey, Kyle. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. Really happy to be here.
Thank you.
A little bit about me. Well, I'm based in LA. I lived here for like 35 years. Guitar player here, and have a little home studio. And I currently work with Mike Tramp's White Lion, and do a lot of sessions here in town. And I've been, just busy. We've been on the road for like I don't know, months now. So I'm having a little moment at home. So I'm here just enjoying the nice SoCal weather and everything.
So tell me, what made y'all decide to do Ride, Captain Ride?
Well, the Cleopatra, Brian Pereira, Cleopatra had an idea to do a compilation of yacht rock songs with a little bit more of an edge. So with guest performers, and so it hit a little harder, because all of those are all great songs, and they were so well written and so well produced. But the idea was to do them with a little bit more of an edge. So he proposed that to me. At the time, I didn't know it was going to be Joe Lynn Turner, who I'm a huge fan of. I was a massive radio fan. So that was exciting. So I thought, it's a legendary, classic, iconic song. And I thought it'd be really fun to sort of give it a little, because the original it's not really a guitar focused song, is it? A lot of it's based around the keys and stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to do that. So when I found out it was Joe Lynn Turner, I was thrilled.
Whenever Cleopatra sent me the single, yeah. Immediately I had to go listen to it, and I'm riding around with the wife the other day, and I'm like, "You got to check this out." And she's like, "I know that song." I said, "Yeah, but listen to this version." And I will say, it was already one of my favorite songs growing up. Right? It's got to be in the playlist.
I love that song. The thing about that song is, it sort of was forgotten in time in a lot of ways. A lot of people go, "Oh shit, I remember that song now." So I think it's going to be good to present it now.
Well, you started out playing flamenco guitar?
I started out actually on electric, but I studied flamenco. I grew up in Spain, so I studied a lot of flamenco guitar, and so it's always something that it's the sort of style you have to dedicate your life to if you want to be at any particular type of level, right? It's a lot of complex stuff, but it's still a joy of mine, and so I study it when I have time, and I go back and pick up the guitar, and if I'm local, if I'm in Spain, I'll go to a local gypsy and sit there and have them show me some licks. so it's a big love of mine. Yeah, it's always been parallel with the electric.
Well, tell us who Marcus Nand really is. What makes you, number one, sit down and pick up that guitar, write a song, and do what you do?
Well, I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. It's a need to it's sort of an inner need to want to maybe express yourself, but even more importantly, because I think expressing yourself is like a secondary, a byproduct of it. I think it's just an inner need to improve on, whatever your chosen field is, whether it's in music or whatever. I think we all have that need to, that uncomfortableness if we don't do those things. So I think that's how most of us are. I don't think there's anything unique about me in that way. I just happen to have chosen the guitar, but it is something that I do constantly every day, and just just for the love of it, I'll sit here and just just mess around with some things. And I was watching George Lynch on an interview, and this happens now, where he was saying about how he's scrolling through Instagram, and some young guy or anybody will come on and whatever it is you see and you appreciate, and then you move on to the next thing, but it's sort of seeped in somehow. So then the next time you sit down, you find these sort of things coming out and you're playing. So it's a really good time to discover new stuff and all that. So I think it's just a need. It's just, I can't not do it.
Well, sometimes you got to take a break. So what do you do when you take a break?
Uh, I like getting, I do like getting away from it, but it's not for long. I ride motorcycles and I like sailing and things like that. But you know, there's always a pull to get back. It's almost like a guilt, you know, that you think I better get back to this. Especially getting a little older now, being over 50. If you don't play, you know, you go down a couple of rungs on the ladder. So you got to keep your chops up, man.
Well, when you were a kid, did you ever pretend to be a guitar player?
Well, I was playing since I was 7 years old. So my whole family on my dad's side, I'm half Indian, right? So they were all Indian traditional musicians.
Right.
So it sort of ran in the family. I didn't know them personally because they were, you know, far away, but it sort of ran in the family. So yeah, it's always been there. I pretend, yeah, of course. For me, it was Gilmore and Page. They were the big Gilmore, Page, and Blackmore to me were the guys that pretty much made me want to be one of those guys. You know, I'm still not one of those guys, but I still have that. You know, we all have our heroes, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, who's in your top five?
Well, top five would be Gilmore, Page, Lifeson, um, Blackmore, and Gary Moore. That would be my top five.
Oh, yeah.
And it changes from time to time. You know, it changes from time. Sometimes Eddie gets in there. You know, I love a lot of the players from the '80s. I love the proficiency that there was in the. I love Lynch and DeMartini and Jakey Lee's a big favorite of mine too. He'd be in the top five at some point. But you know, it fluctuates.
Right. Well, for me, whenever I got into Frank Zappa, the
Yeah,
I was like nobody can touch him. I felt
right.
like nobody could really touch him. But you know,
Yeah,
you also have to consider what music you're listening to. You know, Hendrix. I mean, definitely up there.
yeah,
But you know, Eddie Van Halen, who I'm sure got a lot of influence from Jimi Hendrix. Hey,
absolutely.
but for me, it was always Frank Zappa, and then Rick Emmett, and then everybody else.
Yeah, okay. I, I had a period of Zappa, but it was two records. It was Overnight Sensation, and it was another one. I think that it was close to that era of his. And I listened to them. I liked Us or Them because Steve Vai was on that record. I was a big Steve Vai
Yeah, oh
fan. So
yeah.
going back to discover his beginnings was cool. And then you know when you know Vai's playing and everything, and then you listen to where he came from through the Zappa school, then that makes a lot of sense, right?
But definitely. And Steve Vai is way up there on my list as well.
Me too. Me too. He's a different animal, man. He's a different animal. He's a incredibly unique, expressive. I mean, what can you say about Steve Vai? He creeps in there too in my top five as well.
Well, you have got to play with people like the bass player with David Bowie and Mike Tramp from White Lion and of course legendary Joe Lynn Turner. Is there
Yeah.
anyone else that you're looking forward to maybe working with in the
Oh
future?
man, I'm looking forward to working with so many people because there's so much talent out there, and so even I want to work with new people too. I'd love to do some production with new people, and I'd love to play on some contemporary artist stuff as well. But it's definitely a thrill playing with some of your heroes. I mean, Carmine is a very very close friend of mine. We've worked on a lot of production for you know for the last 25 years or so. But before I worked with him, I used to you know look at the David Bowie you know Let's Dance, and his name would stick out. So it's a thrill working with all your heroes. I also did a solo on a Rod Stewart record, and that was quite a thrill too. Um, but I love collaborating, and I love you know playing with talented people, and especially when you have to rise up to the occasion because you know if you're not doing that, I think you stagnate a little bit. So it, to feel uncomfortable and to have to sort of go, oh shit, I got to do this, but you got to you know rise up, and that's always a plus.
Well, plus you like the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. You like the challenge, and it just does so much for your playing as well, because you got to step into an area that you're not comfortable in, and you got to make it work. So that's always a plus.
Well, hopefully you're around for a long, long time, but
I certainly hope so, man. That'd be a good start.
but when you do pass away, what do you want people to remember you for?
Oh man, that's a big scary question, man. I've never. I'm too busy being here at the moment to think about that. Um, I don't know, man. Maybe just a good person, you know, and somebody who how do I put this? Maybe an inspiration for other people to go and chase whatever endeavor makes them happy. You know, I think that's a really good thing to pass on to somebody.
So, do you have a website?
I do. It's marcusnand.com, marcusnand.com. I'm just currently updating it, and I've got some things for sale on there, and I'm going to put some news on there and some cool things happening. So yeah, I'm in the process of doing that, and also my Instagram is marcusnand.music, and Facebook is Marcus Nand. I'm easy to find.
Are you on YouTube?
I am on YouTube. There's a bunch of videos, but there's some flamenco stuff on there, and I've been meaning to post more things on there. I just in the past last year I put out a record called The Traveler, which was a solo record where I'm doing vocals and all the guitars, and I produced and recorded, and I got a lot of great players to play on it, and that's out on Cleopatra. So that you can either go directly to their site, or if you go to my site, marcusnand.com, you can link to, the buy CDs and albums button directly links to their site. And also my first solo record, Time and Tide, Wait for No Man, is also on there. And that's less of a rock record. It's there's more world music. You can hear more flamenco influence in that. More like a Peter Gabriel sort of thing as well. It's sort of eclectic. So both albums are on the site, and can be found.
Well, awesome. I'm going to put all those links in the description just to make it easier for folks to find you.
I appreciate that, Kyle.
Man, well, I appreciate you. I was so glad that I got to hear the music, and now I've got something that it's not on my shelf, but soon will be, that I can enjoy. So,
But much appreciated.
well, and again, thank you. And I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button for my regulars. You guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless. See. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network